Welcome to the Post Credit Podcast, where two movie-obsessed guys talk film like it's Friday night in 1985. The only algorithm that matters is the one at your local video store. Cool.
That was good.
Yeah,
I like the 1985. That was like the Back to the Future throwback.
Was it? Yeah, I mean, it's the year I was born too. What year were you born?
85.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah!
80s!
Back in time, huh?
Cool.
By the way, I like this red look you got going on. It's like,
Yeah, it's very...
Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's compliments of you, because it's, the light
Yeah,
side.
evil.
Evil.
Yeah,
It
does help as well, you doing the intro in that American voice.
It's not American, it's Canadian.
Canadian.
So, thanks very much for watching, everybody. This is the end of the podcast.
Tomato, Ray Romano. Yeah, this is awesome. We always get together and talk film, movies, all that jazz. And that's all we've been saying. We want to do something like this just to chat. And, we love movies. That's what we grow up on, So, yeah, it's awesome us getting together and doing this in this awesome little space we created, handmade.
Yeah, and this is awesome. Your little movie theater / podcast room has turned out very nicely.
Yeah, totally. And I thought, we discussed different topics we could go off. But I thought first, overhyped movies that have come out, that people, love. It's made a gazillion dollars at the box office. Or hasn't, but people are like, you got to watch it. And you watch it, you're like, eh.
And that's the thing that I think both you and I have seen and not seen certain movies. You've seen a lot of movies. I've seen a lot of movies. But I think every time we do see each other, where I was like, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Or have you seen that? And I'm like, no, I haven't seen it. Like, what do you mean you haven't seen this? Oh, that one scene. And you want to talk about it, but you can't because you don't want to spoil it. Totally. Especially if you're like a cinephile or whatever, movie lover, you don't want to ruin it. So to go back to what you're saying, top 5 overhyped movies or top 3? Top 3.
That's 3.
Okay. Top 3 overhyped movies. I'll let you take the floor.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Look, I'll start off with an easy one to get the ball going.
Okay.
Hopefully
I've seen this.
Yeah, you would have seen it. Maybe a while ago. It was before we were born, so it's an oldie. But I've got Scarface as the first one.
Okay,
Brian
Scarface.
De Palma.
It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah, early 80s.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's a movie that people are like, oh, Scarface, amazing. But I've got to say,
say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, and I mean, it's got great lines, and Al Pacino definitely has that iconic performance in him, along with the other actors, but it definitely has a lot of cheese to it. Like, the dialogue is just a bit messy. The montage is probably there's montage in that movie, which is probably the most cheesy with the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's just the cheesiest montage, and the soundtracks are just terrible. But I think it was the 80s, a lot of synth sounds.
Well, that's probably what makes it cheesy, is because of the time it was made.
Yeah, well,
do you know what I mean?
And I usually throw back with people. There's movies that were made in the 60s or 70s, especially, that still hold up. Like, you watch Raging Bull, it still holds up, and that's got a kill soundtrack and trouble. But I mean, apples and oranges, Raging Bull and Scarface. But there's movies that hold up for its time, where that I feel like just doesn't. I feel like people say, oh, this movie's cool, I love it, just to say they love it.
Is there anything that you do like about it, though, besides the fact
director and the actors? No. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's got an iconic movie poster. Now, that's something it's got. It's got a cool black and white poster.
Yeah.
And also, the movie's called Scarface. I don't barely even remember a scar on his face at all in that movie.
Wasn't there, though? Wasn't there he had a scar
exactly
on his face?
It is a remake from a 1932 Jimmy Cagney movie, Scarface, which I do prefer.
Yes.
Anyway, but
it's got an iconic end scene. It's got a pretty iconic. That's probably what. This is the question too, though. Is a movie iconic not so much as a movie as a whole, but maybe there's a scene in a movie the same way when you buy an album and there's that one song in the album which is makes it that iconic, and it signifies a time frame in history. So maybe that scene at the end makes that movie more iconic than the movie itself.
I'm going to go one step further. I think the people that say, I love this movie, it's great, are just talking about the ending. They're not really talking about the whole movie as a whole.
This is true.
Yeah, right? Don't you think? And it's I got a table of cocaine and he's shoving his head in. Oh, how cool.
Well, that's probably back then, the 70s, that sounds cool, man.
But the other thing was Brian De Palma later on, 10 years later, went on to make a movie, Carlito's Way, with Al Pacino as well, playing a Cuban as well, with drugs and gangsters. That, I say, is 10 times way better film with that. It's it's definitely more... not as action-packed, although it does have an ending sequence, a third act, similar to Scarface, where it's a chase scene. I know Scarface isn't chasing, but it's got an iconic let's get him type scene. And it's more suspenseful, intense. The music's way better,
It probably depicts the 80s in a specific way too, right? It takes place in the 80s, right?
Yeah, totally.
So it depicts that time frame And so that's what makes it iconic. I think not just back then, but even now, I think people like envision that time as like, you know, the floral shirts with the white, and it's just, I don't know, it just,
and it was based on that Miami, you know, all the kids coming, that Reagan era.
Yeah, exactly.
And what was going on, Oliver Stone script, you know. But I just think that's a movie where I'm just like, oh, geez, someone goes, oh, it's my favorite movie. I'm like, oh, give me a break.
Speaking of Pacino, what is your favorite Pacino movie?
Ooh, that's a toughie.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
I changed. Wow. I changed. Well, isn't it weird? Al Pacino, he went from like The Godfather, like, oh yeah, Frodo, blah 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 blah, and then it became like he changed to The Scent of a Woman, hoo-ah, like, and he just became that.
Well, Godfather, he didn't even want to do.
Yes. Correct.
Like there's that show that talks about how they made The Godfather and they needed the blessing from the mob. It's a recent thing that just came out.
Yes.
And the actor who plays a young Pacino is actually playing the new Sylvester Stallone in the remake, not a remake, but the story of Sly making Rocky.
Rocky, yes.
Which he actually looks good.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw the behind the scenes on Instagram or whatever, but it's there. But so I think because he was like a theater actor, right?
Yes,
Pacino used to sleep in the theater. He used to stay there all the time. So that probably for him, and even in Godfather 1, he's kind of this quiet little, you know, so him being a character performer and then his actual character, they go hand in hand, and maybe that almost gave him confidence to be like, well, let's go crazy here.
Yeah, well, I mean, like The Godfather obviously is one. There's Dog Day Afternoon. Like,
okay, well, that's what I was.
That's like as a movie as a whole is just
no, but that movie that's like,
underhyped. That's a movie that everyone.
That is an underhyped. Yeah, segue underhyped movies. Yeah. But that movie, I think, as well. Whenever he's interviewed by about that movie, he's always said to like. He goes, I don't know what happened in that movie. I became that character, and then as soon as we wrapped shooting, I became Al Pacino again. It's like, even his voice was different. Yes. Everything was different, and I like the fact, like most movies like that, it's like, oh, okay, we're just in a bank. You know, it's just like, there's no crazy backstories and like time and whatever. It's like, it's like that's a movie that could and should be remade, but shouldn't.
Yes, 100%. Well, I feel like they've done versions of that movie of like a bank type thing, and that's a true story. Obviously, they've bent a few shit to fit.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
But no, that's a
wicked movie.
Yeah, totally. But he's got heaps. Like I could go on. I mean, people give him shit for cinema. I love that. There's an underrated movie where it's got a lot of cheese, but this movie in the 70s called Injustice for All. He plays a lawyer. Really good movie. Yeah, there's one scene, and that's he's really good in that movie. Serpico, I love him in Serpico. He could go in and in. I mean, 70s definitely is his era. And linking back to Scarface. He took a massive break after Scarface. He didn't do a movie till like Sea of Love or something in like 87, 88 or something. He took like a big break from acting after Scarface because that movie flopped. I think he went into theater and things like that.
It's funny when a movie like that, how iconic of a movie that is, flopped in actual cinemas and then becomes iconic later.
Yes, it was a VHS sales back in the day. VHS, people, if you don't know, is
the holy grail of cinema.
Yeah, totally.
Like, we both grew up on VHS tapes. Like you'd go to a video store and you'd basically see a plethora of options, and you would. It's like, you know, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but you kind of do. And that's why movie poster art is so important.
Yes,
is because you're drawn to this. Like, what is, like, if you know anything that you see behind us is like, what is this movie?
Yes,
there's a giant gate, or or like a guy with a watch and the time machine.
And
like,
school was a big thing. Like you didn't have Rotten Tomatoes on, do you? You go to school. Hey, did you guys see this movie? Go get it. And you go to your parents. Oh, we need to go video store get this movie. You know. And I was lucky. I had older brothers, so I'll just watch whatever they watch, and we'll taping stuff on VHS. So
100%. You recorded on TV.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah.
But the best part is that, like, a lot of the things that they would watch, you would kind of become a result of that as well. You know, like I got into Blade Runner.
Yes.
But basically be like, hey, you got to watch this, and I was like, what? You know, and he'd go out and he'd put that on, and it was like raining outside in Vancouver, and I'd watch Blade Runner by myself like this, like, what is this movie? And I was like 8.
Dude, I went to the movies. Like my mum had no idea what we were doing in the movie. I went to the movies to watch Total Recall when I was 5. And like that's R-rated.
5 Total Recall. No,
you got like a girl with 3 kids. Yeah, you got a girl with 3 kids in there.
Man, my daughter's 4.5. She watched Total Recall now.
And I'm like, I didn't grow up kind of messed up, but like it was nuts.
I think most people.
We had on tape.
Most people in the entertainment industry are messed up.
Oh, did we had like on tape like Nightmare on Elm Street films, and I was like, I mean,
well, that's the thing though. This is the one thing, right? Like as a parent of a younger daughter, you're quite protective of what they watch. But then I made a comment to a friend of mine on the other day, and we're so like, oh, I don't know if they should watch this or they get influenced that. But then I was like, you know what? I watched Land Before Time, or like watched like certain movies in the 80s when you were younger. That's like that you would have visual like nightmares, like It, or like
for sure.
The Dentist, or like that messed me up. That's why I don't like The Dentist. But like you would watch those movies, right? Yeah, or like even like classics, right? Like Aliens or Back to the Future is not very scary.
No, well, speaking of Aliens, like. That's my brother's favorite movie. So I grew up, it's my favorite movie. The second one, just action packed.
Yeah,
but I'd
James
never.
Cameron.
It's like you knew growing up that's fake and bullshit, and I just took that in, like going, this is bullshit.
Did you actually think that when you were watching these movies that everything you were watching was not real? Like obviously, like
of course, like the only stuff, obviously horror films stick to you. But I mean, going back to Total Recall, you see Arnold Schwarzenegger ripping arms off and shooting people. Like I'm like, clearly that's not real. Yeah, any of that 2 weeks,
But Arnold is classic. But we're digressing completely.
Very. Do you have?
Welcome to this podcast where we will go off the stream and we'll try to come back in time stone back to the original point of the conversation.
Do you have one? Do you have an
overhyped movie? I'll say one. I'll go into the MCU, and I think a lot of people like, this is probably pre-MCU, which it is, I believe, Spider-Man 2. Oh, so Spider-Man 2 for me, I don't know why, it's just something that doesn't resonate, and it's Spider-Man 1 was iconic because I think it was one of the first like Marvel cinematic movies that were like really staying true-ish to the piece of like comics. And then I don't know what it was. I think it was Tobey Maguire, and I'll get hated for this because there's a lot of purists of him being the best Spider-Man, and but that's fine, that's cool. Like everybody has their pick a Batman, But I think it was the direction. I think the Sam Raimi to me was very cheesy director, and I know that's his shtick, right? Like that's kind of like he comes from horror and like over the top horror.
Yes, his Evil Dead series.
Yeah, like I like the action scene with Doc Ock, this and that, but maybe I have to watch it again. I think a friend of mine, we always kind of go back to back, like. I always just say like he just loves Spider-Man 2 so much, and I'm just like I just don't. It's a movie I would never watch again. So I feel like it's a bit overhyped.
Yeah, I've got a thing where with superhero movies, always the first one, especially with the heroes, it always feels interesting because it's their origin story. So that's always compelling and interesting. Where, their origin. The sequels to action, like especially superhero movies, are tricky because you got to elevate that. You go, okay, what can we do more? But they always lean on the villain. So the villain's got to be compelling and interesting, and we got to get into that. But I always feel like, always make it about the hero and his hero's journey,
I do like a story where, sorry to cut you off, I do like a story when like there is a hero who then becomes the villain. And it's like, because everybody's perspective is different, right? And it's like what you think you're doing is right, but from the outside perspective, it's wrong, right? And everything is valid in your own point of view and what you believe in.
Yes.
So that's why I do like stories, for example, like whether it be like Thanos in Avengers and Infinity War, or whether it be like the comedian in The Watchmen.
Yes.
Who is like a hero, but he's also plagued, and you kind of like real, or like the Joker, right? He was just like in the Joaquin Phoenix one, where it's like he's this normal guy, and I liked how like society made him evil. Right, which is kind of relevant these days, and you see this great divide happening.
Well,
and it's like and you are more sympathetic towards the villain, unless they're like completely nuts and like really really evil and really really bad, and it's like we can't really sympathize with that. But there's ones that like tread lightly, and you're like, well, he does have a point. Like Thanos, like he does have a point.
Outside of superheroes, there's one Inglourious Basterds, Christopher Waltz. He's the villain in the movie. Iconic. He won an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
And someone had asked him, which my brother reminded me the other day. Someone had asked him like, how did you give this iconic villain performance winning an Oscar? And he was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, he's a bad guy, blah, blah. Well, no, he's not a bad guy. He doesn't know he's bad. What he's doing is right, and
but that's the beauty of his
and
performance.
That's what's cool, because like he's not being a bad guy.
Yeah, you're not thinking I'm a bad Nazi. I'm going to
what he's doing is right. You know? And that's what makes him a good villain.
But his performance in that was like, and I know you might think this is an overhyped movie, but I liked Inglourious Basterds.
It's great. It's a great
you cannot tell me that first scene in that movie is like it's like almost like a masterclass in cinema.
I think every scene he's in is just like.
But like that, the beginning of that the tension that builds, the choices of shots, to the pacing, to the slow creep in, and then like the convincing to the French guy that he's like actually hiding somebody here, and like, oh my gosh, that's like I need to rewatch that again. But it's like iconic scenes in movies I think are good when you can recall them as if you just watched it yesterday.
Yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of the times we'll be like, oh, what's that movie? What happened to that thing? Like, oh, but it's like if it's like that's what makes it iconic to the individual, right?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to like I love Stanley Kubrick movies because like he always said every shot you do in a movie or a scene or whatever has to be meaningful. Like why are we cutting there? Why are we showing this? Why are we doing that? And obviously you'd have long takes and things like that. But flipping it, you've got Christopher Nolan movies, who I love as a director, and going back on that superhero theme of Overhyped, like you look at something like The Dark Knight, which people love, and I'm going to get so much shit for this, but I feel like that's an overhyped movie.
So that's your number 2?
That's going to be that's my one there. Where,
I want to hear this because I disagree.
Yeah, you disagree?
I disagree with your number 2 overhyped.
Really?
Movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to sip this one in.
Yeah, I was so excited for this movie when it came out. I was like, Batman Begins, the way it ended. The Joker card, it's like, this guy leaves a calling card. I was like, yes, I'm there. When's this movie getting done? Let's just get it going.
Yes.
And
then the last time we saw the Joker was then Batman, like Michael Keaton's Batman.
Exactly. And, and that was a bit outdated, the way Jack Nicholson portrayed, how it was in the... in terms of when Dark Knight came out, you look at
it was like 20 years later.
Yeah, right. And this movie, like, from the get-go, you've got this scene, he robs a bank and kills all the henchmen, and then a bus crashes through this bank and loads the money. It does a big cut. He's sort of loading the money up.
The rest.
His bus comes out, and he just joins the queue of all these buses. And then you got bystanders walking like, la, 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 what? They don't notice a big freaking hole in the wall.
But the best part is it's in the day.
It's
so
in the
it's
day.
like you would like everybody going to work or whatever would see that. Like in the night, I can understand, right? Because like Gotham nighttime. Oh, that's when you would probably do your crime.
You've got extras there. Just you see the extras, and you're like, no, nothing's going on, nothing. And there's perfectly buses on that time when he crashed, loaded the money, all this sort of stuff. I was like, this is a bit 1966.
Do we ever
Batman.
see his face in that? No, we don't.
No, you see the back of his head. He's holding a mask, but.
Which is so nice to portray that character.
Yes.
Like,
it's cool, and I like the fact you don't know his background, all that stuff, right?
But I think you're thinking logistically, like, yeah, you're right. Like, I think you can look at a scene and be like, okay, and then you almost like, because the scene is so like impactful, you're forgetting like, oh yeah, there's a bus and he just joins the queue, and then they're like, is there kids in the other bus?
Mind you, that's the opening scene.
Are they going to school?
Oh,
and
then that's the opening scene, and I was like, I'd never forget in theaters going, oh, that was a bit, huh?
Yeah.
But then it cuts to a deal going down in a car park.
Yeah.
And you got all these fake Batman rock up with guns, but then the actual Batman rocks up. And he literally does the RoboCop. He grabs a gun and goes, and you're like, huh?
Because he has hydraulic tiny...
Yeah, okay. He has a hydraulic thing. But that means the guy on this end holding the gun has to hold it so stiff.
Yeah, true. His arm would just go...
It needs to... Like,
screw you, Batman.
If you hold
I just bought this gun.
Yeah, no, it's just like, oh my God, what are we doing? And I love that.
That would have made sense if all of a sudden like there's a later scene and he's in the Batcave and he's checking his hydraulic grip things. We're like, oh, this makes my grip really tight. You're like, well, that makes logistical sense.
Oh, dude. And then like literally there, the car takes off. He times his jump perfectly to land on this car, which... The car stops as he lands. I'm just like, we're 5 minutes.
That's because he had a hydraulic leg.
But I love it. At the end of the movie, he falls one story.
I know, and he goes
out of there. Yeah, I'm just like, oh my God.
This is the funny thing about Batman, though, is that he is human. He's man, right? He's like, he can get hurt, right? And he's just got like really, let's call it adamantium armor, which would be cool, right? Tie into a different universe. But like,
I thought that suit stinks, by the way. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Yeah, that suit was a bit like, I don't think with it like Batman Dark Knight being an overhyped movie is an interesting thing because a lot of people like even of that, era of watching that movie who are quite young and the right time in their life to watch that movie would praise it as like the best superhero movie of all time, right? Yes. Like if you think of all the MCU, DCU movies and beyond, like top 3 most likely will be Dark Knight, 100%. Right? Which is the perfect example of an overhyped movie. I'll
counter that. Best superhero movie.
Ooh.
We hardly see him. It's like the Joker versus Two-Face, that movie, basically.
Yes.
Like, it's all about the villains rather than Batman. And there's a point in that movie where Batman's like, I'm not Batman anymore. He quits. 5 minutes later, he's Batman again.
This is the problem with movies, giving like this 2.5 hour like window to tell the story of character development. And that's why episodics work so well these days. And there's like 7 seasons of something and you see a character at the beginning of a series to the end and they've had this growth and change. Where like, movies in 2.5 hours, you're like, I think that's where it's hard to like believe those stories because you're like, well, how does Batman going from this, and you have to show elapsed time. But I think, and just to add to your funny scenes in Dark Knight, which I'll add, is that, the classic scene where Joker interrupts the party with...
This is a great one.
What's her name? Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
And he goes,
It's not Katie Holmes, it's the second one, but yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, like he's like, you want to tell me how I got these scars, right? And all that stuff. And all of a sudden Batman's like, you told me.
Yeah.
What does he say?
He goes, oh, I like that. And then all of a sudden Batman's like, you're going to like me. It's like,
but how does nobody, like, doesn't he have peripheral or like, doesn't his henchman?
Not
he
even
has
that. He's got
right?
henchmen. And also the people at the party, aren't they going, like, shit, it's Batman.
That's why even in Batman Forever, where he like comes in from the top and they're like, oh my God. Or better yet, like throw a batarang, lights go out, and then all of a sudden he like turns on a lighter, and you see this like cool silhouetted face of the Joker holding Gyllenhaal, and then you just see him like, you gotta like me, and you're like, yeah, that's Batman. He works in the shadows. He doesn't fight crime in the day. He's Bruce Wayne in the day. He's Batman at night.
I feel like that entire movie, I can go scene to scene to scene to scene, and I'm just like the Joker, it's like, oh, but what about the Joker's form? Yeah, incredible forms, I get it. But like, in terms of the character, he's got no henchmen. Then he's got heaps of henchmen. Then they're not skilled, but then they're skilled. Then he's got all these bombs.
But you have to
admit, he
admit,
doesn't have bombs. Then
he's
made these bombs.
You have to admit that Heath Ledger's performance is good.
Yes, great. Like the performance is good,
though, right? It's different.
It's different. The performance is good, but I feel the character in the movie is like, what are we doing? Like,
I don't know. I think
I'm very like looking into it. It's like, how did he make these bombs? How did he put this stuff there?
Yeah, but that's like the logistics in cinema that you can't really...
The extend the disbelief, you know? You're kind of like...
Then all of a sudden...
I get it, right?
Because it's a superhero movie, right? There's not actually somebody who's in a vigilante mask, and there's somebody...
and that's why I say it goes back to the 66 Batman, where it's like, Batman. He's his district attorney. He's pissed off that, old mate got killed.
Yeah.
Gets in an accident, and all of a sudden he's just evil like that. Where, like, you look at, let's say, the animated series, for example.
Oh,
anyone who wants...
Best Star Wars. That is the best Batman anything.
And if you look at that, right?
And even the animation style and the fact that they hand drew everything. Like, come on. Like,
yes, totally, right? And at least with that, they... Harvey Dent, you see anger issues, you see he's got problems. It builds. This, and I know it's a 2-hour movie, but, like... And the story focuses on Two-Face the whole time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all of a sudden, he's just evil, and it's just...
Well, you're right. And I think, like, when you watch... What's his name? Aaron Eckhart playing him. Like, he's like this kind of like lawyer guy. This thing. But you're right. You don't really see these like anger issues throughout his character. Maybe he's popping pills and he has like anxiety and he has like this split personality already, but he has to be portrayed as this character. And then you can lead up. So when he does get acid poured on his face because of Batman or whatever the thing is, then like maybe all of the like his brain is melted.
Yeah.
So the logistical part of his brain is not working properly anymore, and it's the evil part of his brain. But he's got this whole like Smeagol Golem kind of thing going on, right? And then he needs his chance to decide because he cannot think properly.
Yes,
play on the almost like the brain neuroses a little bit more instead of being like, I hate everyone now.
Yeah, and it's just like, and based off what? Because Batman didn't save your missus. I'm just like, okay, I get it, but like, come on, like, so, and I just feel that movie. I get it, and I people love it. Good on you, enjoy it, whatever. But I'm just like, oh, you break down that. I'm just like, there's no scene that goes longer than 2 minutes. I feel it's just cut.
I think Batman Begins is probably the better of the three.
I love it. I like
Batman, and I like Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, the whole movie's good. And going back to your point, sorry to cut you. Spider-Man 2 origin story, like Batman Begins origin story, but they didn't build off that with Batman. The next one, you're just like, okay, what does everyone talk about? Heath Ledger, Two-Face. Batman's like,
yeah,
you're not really.
Yeah, no fair. And Dark Knight Rises is the shittiest out of the three.
I see it as the same. Like, I'm like, I can't tell the difference.
I don't know. Ra's al Ghul's daughter death scene at the end. Have you rewatched that part? It's actually like a farce thing on the internet where, like, if you look it up, and like I'm sure you might add it here, she's just like says it like a specific line. She goes, ugh. And it felt like it's like they just did one take, and they're like, okay, let's move on. But like, no, like. You just revealed to us that you're Ra's al Ghul's daughter, and you have this love interest with Bruce Wayne or Batman, and then all of a sudden you're like, haha, I'm the bad guy. That's like, I don't want you to rewatch it, because you'll be like, this is the worst. Dude, and she's an amazing actress. Like Marion I can't remember her name, sorry. But like,
I feel like that's the Nolan special of like, shoot quick, fast, let's move on. Like, I mean, I saw a couple months
Eastwood
ago.
is like that. Clint Eastwood does like 8-hour days, 10-hour days.
Yeah.
Which is like effective, and it's like a lot of the times there's actors out there who want to do. I think even Coppola's the same. They're like, can we do that again, or can we do this again? They're like, what do you mean? I hired you because you're a great actor. Let's move on, or whatever. You know? So
yeah. You get the opposite side.
Is your aircon on? It's getting hot.
I'll turn it on in a second.
Okay, so obviously, so Christian, we can go on and on about many overhyped movies potentially, but let's just stick with the top two. Top 5 is one thing, top 10 is another. Let's stick to top 2 overhyped movies.
Yeah.
So do I have another one? Oh, see, like Avatar is a good one, but I don't think it's overhyped.
Yeah.
Overhyped movies.
Just think, what's a movie that everyone's like?
What's a movie that you like that I might? Because I feel like there's some movies that we disagree on.
That I like. Oh, dude, but they're not overhyped. I like weird shit. I like. There's a movie like a Vanilla Sky I love, and people are like, "What? That's a piece of."
Love Vanilla Sky.
Okay, well there you go. We can't do that one because I love that movie. You haven't seen Oppenheimer, have you?
No.
Gladiator. That's a big overhyped.
Last year, that's Matrix, Resurrection, and Reloaded.
Are they overhyped though? People think it's shit.
I think Matrix should have only been one movie.
Yeah, that's like almost a perfect movie.
Yeah, like why even? I can understand why you would make a universe around Matrix, but like no.
Did we need 2 and 3?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Why? Just like no.
Yeah.
But then that's not stopping the Hollywood machine. And then hey, let's make a 4th that nobody watched. I literally turned that movie off after 20 minutes.
I didn't bother.
And it was supposed to be like a.
I'd turn most movies off today, like after 20 minutes, to be honest. We could go on and on about overhyped movies. I'm going to throw some honourable mentions before we go.
Please do.
Tell me if you like overhyped movies. So I put Oppenheimer in there. Won so many Oscars, and I'm like, geez, I could go on. And I love Nolan. So
I got one. The Green Book.
Oh, that won an Oscar as well.
Yeah, I think that's overhyped.
Yeah, it's full of a lot of bullshit as well in that movie.
Well, apparently they changed a lot about what actually happened, and then they made a story about it.
That's one thing, actually. If you're going to make a movie on a true story, just make it what it is. Like, why do we twist and turn?
Or just like make it like based on this. Like, you don't have to make it actual unless it's like a historical event.
I love Coen Brothers in Fargo. Incredible movie.
That's a good movie.
They put at the start, based on a true story, these events actually happened, and it's just bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that's amazing.
As you watch it, you're like, wait, this did not happen.
Which is cool. It makes it good. But they're like, well, yeah, like you can put that for any movie. And same with those true stories. Like,
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Overhyped. Any movie that's based on a musician, like Walk the Line, Ray, the Elvis movie. I'm like, these movies are just...
See, I enjoyed those movies because I feel like if I'm going to get some depiction of their life, then I'll get into it. But
you know what? Tell me, just focus on Elvis for a day or 2 days or something. Not like...
The span of his
whole life. It's just like in 2 hours.
There's this new Michael Jackson movie coming out.
Yeah,
that's like
it's going to... Yeah, I mean, are they going to talk about everything in that movie?
That's controversial. We won't get to that part. That's another podcast you can watch somewhere else.
Honorable mention. I had Avatar on there, which I enjoy, but like, you could make an argument it's overhyped.
I mean, I could see why that would be overhyped.
Yeah,
I'm a sci-fi. I just love just seeing any spectacle. Yes. I cannot. It is basically dances and wolves.
Yes.
In space.
Yes.
With giant blue people.
Pretty much. Yeah. And it's just continue on and on and on.
Yeah.
Shutter Island I had on there, which I hate, and people are like, I love this movie.
Shutter Island, like. See, I would almost consider Raging Bull overhyped.
Really?
Ooh.
Oh, dude, come on.
I've only seen it once, so I can't be the type of person. But Scorsese's obviously very good. Obviously, he's a legend. He's an icon. He's like one of the pillars of like cinema in America, and overall, people are inspired by his work and all that kind of stuff.
Robert De Niro's best performance. I get it.
Yeah. Controversial. Have you seen The Awakenings? No.
No, come on.
That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know what I was going to say?
No.
I won't say it.
Okay, good. Got it there. But I also think too, when you watch a movie in a specific time of your life and it doesn't resonate, you might then think it's a bad movie.
Yes, that's true.
Right? So that's what was Raging Bull for me. I couldn't get into that per se. At that time, so I need to rewatch it, and I'm not going to like verbatim say like it's an overhyped movie because I know you're a big fan, but I would probably say
I could see why I could see people not enjoying it, like because it's a biography movie, and in terms of the boxing scenes haven't aged well and stuff like that, but it's got a cool aesthetic. It's all in black and white. Yeah. It's got the intro of that movie is iconic with the score and everything. Him in the ring with a coat down.
Yeah,
it just
of course.
looks beautiful. His character's just a piece of shit.
See, I like Taxi Driver more than probably Raging Bull.
Yeah. The only thing with to end this off, the only thing with a lot of 70s movies, which I find was a lot of I feel like every movie ended with the hero getting shot. Like every movie, like the Serpico, the Taxi Driver. It's every movie is like a violent. That's why the Rockies were good, the first one, because of like it's a good guy. It's like the 70s, and the 70s got away from like the hero. It was like the anti-hero. So Taxi Driver, there was a lot of that stuff in the 70s. It was like,
I think there's this like a flavor that people like when it's about an underdog, because it's maybe in that time period too, in the 70s, a lot of people were struggling. I mean, people are struggling now, but like I think a lot of people do like the story of the underdog and having them succeed. And even if they die in the process of trying to succeed, and it becomes beautiful in a way, because it's like, well, at least they died trying what they loved, as opposed to being a slave to what they didn't and then dying a terrible death.
No, well, perfect. Look, let's end this first one there, because we're looking on and on and on. We're like, we'll do 20 minutes. It's been like half an hour.
Oh, dear. We're on episode 1.
Yeah, episode 1. And next week... We
won't even say episode 1. We'll just say an episode... Oh, yeah, let's say episode 1.
Yeah. Look, and next week, I think we're going to tackle our favourite music... iconic music scores.
Yeah, cool.
Let's do that next week.
All
and
right.
So we're going to keep going. Like, phone in, leave comments, subscribe to whatever. We're just going to get this going, and we'll see where we go from there, right? Any last words, my good friend?
Yeah, take a watch, have a listen. These are just two film addicts, cinephiles, what do you want to call us, from a different decade of cinema, that we can go back and reflect on what movies mean to us and hopefully to you. And thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and thanks for putting this on together. It's what happens when you have a great idea and you actually do it. So... Thanks for watching.